God damn it. I was too sleepy and I forgot to turn the sound on. I ruined the joke. I ruined the joke. All right, everybody, we're quitting. Sunny Dust's done. Want to do the joke thing. And just going behind here. It's just not doing the show tonight. We're not doing it tonight. Screwed up too much. Sorry, Airah, there's no show. No. Okay, fine. Fine. Fine, I'll do a show. God. I Kaiser trying to do a joke is sleeping and the pain wakes me up and I just try to do the joke and I screw up the joke and because forgot to unmute and he's okay. Well, hi everybody. Welcome to Sunday Dusk. It's December. That's why the background turned blue and why I have a hat on. Cause that means it's December. It's Christmas month. Is almost time for solstice time. The days are getting short. It's dark at like 4:30, and sunrise is into like 8. Yeah, it's gloomy. It's gloomy. It's cold. We don't got no snow here yet. The only day we've gotten snow this year so far is friggin' Halloween. Oh, well, we're getting there, folks. Hope you're getting your Christmas shopping done. Hope you're if you do Christmas shop. I hope you're somebody who doesn't have to do Christmas shopping. Personally, that's the best thing. Is not have to deal with the crap at all. That's just what you want. But yeah, Christmas means a lot of different things to a lot of people. We've had people say it's their favorite holiday on 13 Questions. We've had people dislike it. Oh, we will never be free of Mariah Carey, Hasio. She's got a whole catalog. Um, a whole catalog. Reached a 5 stream streak. What the? Was that just? Does that just mean you watched 5 of my streams in a row? Okay, Hasio reached a 5 stream streak. 5 stream streak. Stream streak. It's yes, yeah. I mean, Hasio, I feel like you're on a bit more of a 5 stream streak. I feel like you've been here for like everyone for like the last 50 at least. Hey, Bentai, I think's missed a couple, but yeah, not he's here pretty much every week. That's neat. That's a neat feature. Well, we got a great show for you tonight. We got a dog coming on. He's dog. He's a good dog. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. And we got some bird of the day. Got a fun game. I think a fun game that all y'all are gonna enjoy playing along with. Another one of my good quiz games. But yeah, we don't have anything too exciting coming up. We got a good guest next week and the week after that. Then we're taking a week off for Christmas Eve. There's no way I can stream on Christmas Eve. It's not gonna happen. New Year's Eve, though, we're going to have a little bit of an earlier thing. It's going to be like Sunday afternoon, not Sunday dusk. And we're going to play some Goose Goose Duck with some people. Goose Goose Duck. We love a Goose Goose Duck. And yeah, be good times. If you want to play Goose Goose Duck with us, let me know. Let me know. We got a couple spaces open. Want to get like 8 to 10 people? It'd be great. Right now, I think we got 6. So get a couple more if you want to play. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Well, we gotta get to the news. No more here. Make myself a little smaller so I don't block the screen. All right, let's get the PowerPoint up. Wow, we got news this week, and folks, we got a lot of bird news this week. This is so many bird things. Now, the first story is about a chicken. Chicken who lived a rough life. Chicken was rescued from a bad situation where they had an infection on his toes. And, well, everybody meet Nubs. This is Nubs. Nubs had little scale mites that hurt their feet. But their owner, Mish Davignon, wanted to help out Nubs and give Nubs the best life that he possibly could have. Or she. Well, more on that later. But they found that the feet were getting sores and hurt, and they were having constant maintenance, and it was very difficult for Nubs to watch. But she wanted to give Nubs the best life that she could for Nubs. So what did they do? They made Nubs some shoes. Specially designed these shoes so that Nubs' feet could slip into them, and they worked. They worked amazingly well. The shoes actually gave Nubs the grip that Nubs needed to walk around, and was able to run and walk without any problem once Nubs got these shoes on. And not only that, because the feet are protected now inside of these shoes, Nubs doesn't need nearly as much cleaning and has basically had no troubles with infections since Nubs got their shoes. But the thing is, Nubs was posted on some social medias, and Nubs has now been receiving more shoes from fans. So Nubs has like over 60 pairs of shoes now. 60 pairs of shoes for Nubs. Isn't that so nice? Now here's another cool thing. Nubs was born a female chicken. But living in the new situation with the shoes, Nubs had started to grow body parts. Some of those crests on Nubs' head, and also the way that their tail is shaped, and a couple other spurs on their feet that grew, are male characteristics. So which means that Nubs is female to male transitioning. Nubs is trans. Nubs is trans, folks. Yeah. Isn't that awesome? We love you, Nubs. We love you, Nubs. We're sending all our love to you, Nubs, and we hope you live a good, long life, and we hope that you enjoy your many awesome, fashionable shoes. Enjoy your shoes, Nubs. You're a great chicken. We love you, Nubs. We love you, Nubs. So thank you to Kathy Free of the Washington Post for the article, "A Chicken Was Missing Toes. People sent him over 60 pairs of tiny shoes." Yay! Now, next is bird news. This one has to do with our good friends, the pigeons. Because some people wanted to test some things, especially in areas where data might be kind of slow. Might take some time to transfer data from one place to another. And they're trying to find what's the fastest way to get this amount of data transferred from point A to point B. Tested certain internet things. But no, the fastest way to get 3 terabytes of data, or no, it was 4 gigabytes. 4 gigabytes, sorry. 3 terabytes, 4 gigabytes, yeah, same thing. But no, what's the fastest way to transfer that amount of data in certain regions? Why, with pigeons, of course. With pigeons. But, okay, actually, there's parts of it. There was tests with the 4 gigabyte stick, but they also were able to do There was a 3 terabyte, yeah. Because the first line of the article is, can a pigeon with 3 terabytes of flash drives outrun a gigabit ISP transfers? So yeah, they did some tests, and for certain distances and certain bandwidths, the fastest way to transfer large amount of data is putting up a pigeon with micro SD cards, and so yeah, um, even gigabit fiber was slower than the pigeon over certain distances. It's pretty neat. Um, yeah, they tested these things, and they're trying to do 3 terabytes of files to see what's the fastest way to get it. And sometimes physical carrying it, like on the back of a pigeon, is the fastest way to do it, folks. So you just gotta set up your carrier pigeon thing and just put the little flash drives in there, and then you're good to go. Of course, carrier pigeons it's not as simple as just you put something on a pigeon and you expect it to go where you want. It has to go to a specific place. You have to take the pigeon from the place you want to send data to, and that place the pigeon has to think it's home, and then you release the pigeon and it goes home. That's how they know. That's how they know. But they made a chart. So apparently, the amount of time it takes. This is like a factor of distance and how long it will take. So as you can see, the pigeon one goes up. That's the blue line. That goes up real high. The distance doesn't seem to matter for a lot of the internet things. So it's basically the line where the blue intersects the yellow is so the distance is like 500 or 600-ish miles or 650 miles, somewhere in that range. That's where it's faster to use the internet than a pigeon. And the red line is flying yourself. So yeah. So yeah, certain long distances, pigeon's faster. But it's just like more than 700 miles away, you should probably just use the internet. Otherwise, send a pigeon. Pigeon's faster for 3 terabytes. This is for 3 terabytes. Yeah, pretty slick. Pretty slick. Pretty slick. No Sparrow services for MMOs. Sorry. So more bird news. It's all birds this week. It's all birds. It's best news. Best news week. So, first off, before I do that, I want to thank Mark Tyson and Tom's Hardware for the article. Yes, a pigeon is faster for data transfer than gigabit fiber internet. Yeah. Okay, on the penguins. They just recently concluded a long-term study of penguins. And these are the chinstrap penguins in Antarctica. Kind of like Adderley penguins, you know. And they found that when incubating the nest, a penguin will sleep for 11 hours a day. However, those hours are very inconsistent. And some of those sleeps will only be like 4 seconds at a time. Like, sleep for 4 seconds. Awake for 5 seconds. And sleep for 4 seconds. And awake for 5 seconds. And they'll do that like all day, where they just like sleep for mere seconds at a time and then stay awake for a little bit. So they end up spending like almost half the time sleeping, but it's like super short sleeps without any super long ones. Just short little quick naps all day that are super quick. And it's kind of neat. Wish I could do that. Although it seems like it's only really feasible if you have the kind of job that is just sit on egg all day. It's an easy job. Don't talk about me. Sorry, Hasio. You know, you might take micro sleeps all day, but you do kind of look like a penguin sometimes. You do. Yeah, 4 seconds. They not off thousands of time a day, but only for about 4 seconds. Yeah, seems like me at work. I get it. So thanks, Christina Larson of the Associated Press, for your article, Penguin Parents Sleep for Just a Few Seconds at a Time to Guard Newborns, Study Shows. And last one, it's a real exciting article that I found, because they're working on it, and they're getting real close. It's going to be a comeback, baby. What's coming back? The dodo. They're working real hard on making the dodo come back. They've found areas that are basically where the dodo's original habitat was like, matches the habitat they lived in. Some of the ones that where they originally lived, the whole reason they went extinct is because invasive species came in and killed them all, and they didn't have the defenses for it. So trying to find places that don't have the kind of predators that are just going to kill the dodo. But they have dodo DNA. They have plenty of dodo DNA, and they're working to find suitable host mother birds that could possibly hold genetically engineered eggs that would have dodos inside of them and reintroducing the dodos. Yeah, it's possible because of the preservation of the carcasses and stuff that they had, that some of them lasted long enough, and some of the DNA is apparently still usable. We got some Jurassic Park shit going on here, folks. We got some Jurassic Park stuff going on. Will they be successful? I don't know. Should they do it? I suppose the doctors are working so hard on to, as if whether or not they could. They stop to think whether or not they should. And I don't know. Bringing Dodo back, could it be disastrous? Is it something we should do since we're responsible for them going extinct in the first place? Well, Kakabos are weirder than dodos. Dodos are cool. I like them. But yeah. They're working closely with the Nicobar pigeon, which is the closest living relative to the dodo, and to try and use that to kind of fill in the DNA. Humans and chimps are like 99% the same. I think it's kind of similar thing.
Drink some water.
Oh, I gotta get a water. I didn't get water. Thank you, Archangel Dawn. I will get myself some water. Got one. Gotta. This one is peach pear flavor. Just, ow! Thank you. But anyway, I don't know how I feel about them trying to bring back the dodo. I think it's a good idea, maybe. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It'd be fascinating to know if it can be done. It could. Well, here's the thing. It's like, I like the idea of doing this because it could be used to help possibly save species that are on the brink of extinction. And I don't know. I feel like there's good usage for it. So I wish these scientists luck. Get out. Okay. Okay, that's all news for today. That's all the news for today. So that means it's time to not be alone anymore. Let me get behind my desk. Okay, well. My guest today, as I already said, is Doggo. And I met him through Millie Moth and, Millie. The VTuber formerly known as Millie Moth. Now he's Millie Mizuame, Plant Lady. Well, you know what I mean. But anyway, he's a cool guy. Likes a lot of games and nerd stuff. I mean, what can you say about him? I like to bite his tail because dogs bite tails. Everybody, welcome Airah.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
Also, they should not bring back the dodo. I am on Team Malcolm here. It's not a good idea.
Yep. It's gotta bite your tail.
Wait, no.
Bite tail.
No.
No. Yeah, Team Malcolm. Should we bring back extinct species? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like dodos are less likely to murder everybody in the facility than a T-Rex, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with dodos and why they're extinct is because they were too tasty. They were too tasty to live.
Too tasty.
That is why. Yes.
I mean, that was one of the big problems with Galapagos tortoises. Like, apparently, the first voyage back from the islands that was going to back to England, they brought 40 tortoises, and none of them survived the trip home because they were too delicious.
Would not surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, Galapagos tortoise is delicious. But I would never eat one because that just feels wrong. I mean, they're just such slow, good little guys.
Yeah. It's like the Elden Ring turtle poke. Why would you want to hurt him?
I've
Why
never
would you want?
played Elden Ring, but
There, in Elden Ring, there is a turtle pope, and he teaches you magic, and he's very, very nice.
Oh, but you can
Yeah.
attack him.
You can get like every other NPC in his front talking. You can kill the turtle pope. He never attacks back. He just hides in his shell until you kill him, and he doesn't even like admonish you for it. He's like I don't blame you or something when you finally kill him.
Wow, that's dark.
Yeah, but
I'd feel so bad for doing that.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to. Turtle pope is good. They also call him a dog because there is no turtle in the like selectable dialogue stuff. So it's like, is this a dog? Dog ahead. Like you just see a bunch of those messages around him.
Huh.
Yeah, but no, turtle pope is good. I love the turtle pope.
Turtle Pope. I've tried to get into games like Elden Ring and Dark Souls. I just never get into them, even though I can acknowledge that they're great games.
I know. I've beaten Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. Did not beat the DLC for those games, and every single time I tried to play Dark Souls 1, I quit about 5 hours in.
5 hours. That's still.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like I sat down to play it. I played for 5 hours. I'm like, oh, that was fun. And then I just never picked it up again.
Yeah. I mean, it says a lot about a game when like you pick it up, you play it, you feel like you're enjoying it, and then you just never go back to it. It's like, I guess it didn't grab me as much as I thought.
Mm-hmm. Or just there's like something else came out like the next day, and I forgot. That happens a lot. Like especially
so many games, so little time.
Yeah. Like recently one of the games that like I remember was grabbing was like, and I had to rush through it too. I had to rush through this because two things happened at like once. One was that Limbus Company released like its next big story chapter, and I really like Limbus Company, even though it's like a gotcha. It doesn't feel like a gotcha. So I wanted to play through the story chapter, and then like the same week they released the last part of the story chapter. Tevi came out, which is another game that I was looking for, which is like a Metroidvania where you're a rabbit girl, and it's amazing. So I'm like, well, I had to blitz through this one because if I don't, I'm going to forget about it while I play Tevi. And then something else is probably going to come out, and I'm like, oh, and then we're going to play Limbus again.
Yeah, how many wasted dollars on games that we never really play for full, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this the Steam sale's out. You can buy this game that's been on our wish list for like 5 years for like $1.
Bundle. Get these 8 games for only $15.
And then here's the thing though, with those,
not to.
Here's the thing though, with those you only want like 1 or 2, and the other 6 just sit there because you didn't want them at all.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
every once in a while, you're like, oh, what was this? Where did I get this thing? Oh, it was a humble bundle that I didn't care about.
Yep. Hi, Johnny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, let's say we'll get to know more about you. So we're gonna hop on to the 13 questions with Carvis Twig. Are you ready to be grilled?
Yes.
The most difficult interrogation of your life.
Yes.
Yes.
Worse than my last job interview.
Yeah. Well, much like a job interview, this is obviously the first question that they ask at any job interview. And what does it describe yourself as a VTuber? What's your lore? What's your stream style? And what are your goals?
That's changed a lot over time. Just because of how things have gone and how like I've like sort of like I actually like don't really get along well with a lot of the VTuber scene anymore, just because I don't really like agree with a lot of what people are doing. So I just kind of like I'm my own thing, and I've always kind of been my own thing, and I don't really try to fit in anywhere. But that's kind of me anyway, because I like playing solo games a lot, which is like Metroidvanias. We mentioned Fun Software. I do like playing like hard games like that, or just like games where you have like a lot of emphasis on exploring things. And that's usually what my style is in terms of the games that I play. My original lore was and it's changed over time a lot too, where I was originally an android that did not have dog features, and then I got dog features, and now my lore is that I am a artificial intelligence construct that resides within like a data stream, and I use this thing that you see here as a body to move around in the real world, but the real me does not exist. It exists as data. And my goals are basically just I don't know, like I think my original goals and my goals now are still mostly the same. Where like since I started, I've done a few charity streams, and I decided on Thanksgiving and Black Friday, like I'm gonna do another charity stream. And then after that, like went well, like, you know, I'm gonna keep this going through all December. And so a lot of my stuff is basically just like helping, like using whatever money I get to basically like improve my own setup and along with just like helping to do different sort of humanitarian things. Like right now, the charity that I actually am raising money for my channel is Phil Abundance, which is hunger relief in the greater Philadelphia area. And I've actually worked with them a few times. Like when I was in high school, I would one of the projects that I went to as part of like a charity thing was like we had to do like one thing with one organization, and I helped box canned goods for like a day or whatever. And then even then my high school had a food drive where it's like we gathered like basically like a giant, like have you ever seen one of those hamper buckets, like a hard plastic hamper bucket?
Yeah.
We gathered an entire Thanksgiving dinner in like a hamper bucket, and we passed out like 10 of those to like the neighboring families that live in the neighborhood of my high school, because my high school actually was in a pretty bad area, but it was like run by the Jesuits. So we would go out into like the neighborhood and drop, and like these people would like have like basically would get into like a lottery to like get something from us, and we'd give them like an entire Thanksgiving dinner with like a turkey, like stuffing, all the like a bunch of different desserts, a bunch of different sides, stuff like that, so they could have a proper
potatoes just oozing out the sides. Yeah.
All instant stuff, like obviously, but still, it's like I felt really good about like going around and helping people and dropping off food like that, and that's like something that I've really been like really passionate about for a while. And I know like right now, like again, it's just like hunger relief stuff like that, but like it's still like a big part of like what I like doing. And like generally I like the way that I carry out my streams, like I want things to be entertaining for other people, even if I'm not like damn my phone, even if I'm not like enjoying like the game or whatever. Like you always have to try to put on a good show, and I always like seeing other people come by and like making them laugh and like making sure that they have a good time with whatever the hell I happen to be doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can get off the rails. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yes.
Oh, somebody summoned Rodney.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. Rodney, it's not a good place for you to appear. Yeah, you just hang out. Okay, yeah, you can hang out with Airah.
You can hang out here. You can hang here.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll bite my tail, so I'm fine.
Nope.
No.
I wasn't interested. He said it smelled bad. All right. Well, if you could do a collab with any streamer, who would it be, and what would you play or do?
This like literally anybody that exists that currently streams or that has streamed. Demon Dice. That's my ultimate one. Mostly because like I just really like her music, and she is also just really funny, and just I feel like just from watching her before, like we would get like we have like the same kind of sense of stupid humor, so we just get along really well. But I also just like to talk to her about like how she's done her music stuff, like because like I have given up on a lot of musical stuff, and I keep wanting to try to get back into it, but I just never have the time anymore. And I know she's been plugging away at rap for like nearly a decade at this point. And even though like my wheelhouse is more like hard rock and metal, it's still like the same kind of like what keeps you going, and like just ask her like stuff like that, like just get to know her as a creator, and also just like because we would just get along very very well, because I just think she's really funny. She's like really fun, like she just seems like it's a really fun time every time I've seen her stream.
Neat. All right. Yeah, music related stuff would be kind of cool to do. I want to do more music collabs. I just wish that my biggest problem with music collabs is lag. Ping.
Yeah, I mean, you could always just record something. Like, do you play any instruments? I don't think I actually know about this. I know very little.
Not really. I mean, I can drum okay, but that's about it.
Yeah, I have a good, like I used to be able to play the guitar okay, like 10 years ago, and then I stopped. And then for whatever reason, last Christmas I got a kalimba from my mother, and I don't know why she gave it to me, but I have one. I can't play it. I don't know how to play it, but I have one.
Christmas, you gave me a kalimba. Very next day, I pawned it.
No, I still have it at least. I still have it. I haven't gotten rid of it yet. I don't know why I still have it, though.
Just play 15 minutes a day. Look, I don't got that many days left, Hasio. I gotta doing better things like VTubing. Neat.
That's like actually that's one of the things I want to do, like just for a while, because I feel like that'd be just like interesting to do, is like I get like a rocksmith set, because I know those are hard to find, but like the pedal and the cord, Because you can get the software pretty easily, just it's on Steam, but like getting the actual hardware for it's a bit trickier. But that's like one of the things I've wanted to do for a while too, is grab my guitar and throw in Rocksmith and just teach myself on stream.
That would be cool. Rocksmith is
Yeah.
awesome, but yeah, so many of those old rhythm games, it's like the software is easy to find. The hardware, good luck.
Yeah, I know like there's a lot of people that like make compatible things for Rocksmith, because Rocksmith is just like a computer thing. But yeah, it's not even like a rhythm game. It's like you use your actual guitar and it teaches you how to play it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, you can always just look at your Steam library to figure this one out. But what game has the most hours played on any of your devices?
The game that actually has the most hours played, or the game that made me age the most as I have played it?
I would say the one that actually has the one that you've dedicated the most actual physical time to playing.
Team Fortress 2, more than likely. I played that game on and off for like a good number of years, and like there's something about that where like I kept coming back to it after a little while, because like I would play like a bunch of other shooters, and then I just like, yeah, this isn't Team Fortress 2, and then I go back to play Team Fortress 2. And I played during the time before they had dedicated servers, so you just go into like the server list, and I was in like a few communities from the server lobby that way, and that was a really fun time. So I like get to know some people in the server in these server communities and just play a lot with them. And then I know I don't have hours logged on it because they don't do it, but I League of Legends might have been a good contender with it, and then or Dota 2. But I know for a fact that just off the top of my head, Team Fortress 2 seems to have the most hours played on it that I can think of without even looking at my Steam library, because that's the only one that I think besides Dota 2 that has 1,000 hours, and even then has like around like close to 1,500 for.
So it sounds like competitive online team games seem to be big for you.
They used to be, and then I realized they made me too angry, and I stopped playing them.
Yeah,
like,
those games, I have to say, do not tend to bring out the best in people.
It's also, I think, just like an age thing as well. Like, as you get older, you realize I don't want to have that stress in my life anymore, and so you just stop playing them very slowly.
The amount of time you have to dedicate to get good at it, like good enough to actually be competitive. Yeah.
That's just a single game. Across a franchise, though, Monster Hunter is the one that I feel like I put the most hours into as a franchise across.
I was suspecting that because
so.
I know that you've played a lot of Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I love Monster Hunter. Like that's the one I play a lot of in terms of hours, just based on like if you were to count like the hours in each game as one franchise, because I put like 600 hours into Monster Hunter 4. And I put like around 250 hours into Monster Hunter Generations, and then another 300 hours in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, and then like 200 hours into Monster Hunter World, and I don't even know how much I put into Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, and then Monster Hunter Sunbreak on the PC. It's a lot. It's a lot of time, and that seems to be what I gravitate towards now. Instead, is I play more co-op games, and in terms of that, I think one of my favorites was I don't know if it has the most. The Left 4 Dead 2 might have the most, just because I've been around the longest. But the one I had the most fun with was Payday 2, actually.
Yeah, I played a lot of Payday 2 back in the day.
Payday 3 makes me sad.
I haven't played 3, but I've heard
it launched in a really, really bad state. It's still in kind of a bad state, and it just I was like I'm like I wish it was just Payday 2, but looks better with more stuff. And it's like, no, we changed progression entirely, and like it progresses now linked to your achievements, and I'm unhappy with it. I'm glad I didn't pick it up, because it just seems like it's a sad game now.
Sad, so sad. What can you do? What can you do? All right. So, travel question. What's your favorite place you've ever visited, and what's a place you've never been to but want to?
First question is Tokyo. I spent 2 months in Tokyo. I spent 2 months in Tokyo when I was studying abroad, as just like a travel abroad program. And while I was there, like, because I was in Japan like for the entire duration, but I was living in Tokyo. And I visit Akihabara like I think maybe once a week at least, just to like just shut up. I was having fun, and there was one place that I went to before, was called the Q Furukawa Gardens, which was it's a western mansion that exists in, I think, the I forget which ward it exists in, but it's not anywhere near like Akiba or anything else like that. But it was
By
like this,
Western,
just
do you
like
mean European, or are we talking like Wild West
no,
gunslingers?
it was like a European Victorian mansion.
Okay.
That was meant for foreign ambassadors to stay in whenever they were in Tokyo, but it's now become a historical site, and they have like a flower garden there too. And the reason I went there is because that's where a lot of the reference photos used in Umineko When They Cry came from. So they took pictures of that garden and the ambassador's like home and office and used it as the backdrop for the setting. Where like this is the mansion that the family lives in and stuff like that. So that's why I went there. And I spent a weekend in Osaka as well. And I climbed up to I think the 8th station of Fuji. I didn't get to the top because at that time my asthma was really, really bad. So I didn't want to go to a place where the air was super thin and I couldn't breathe easy. So I stayed in like the cabin like that we got to overnight and was at the 8th station. So I watched the sunrise from the like near the summit of Fuji.
That's pretty cool.
And then yeah, and like I said, I was in Osaka for around 3 days, and that was actually really, really fun too. I really liked Osaka. It's a very different town than Tokyo is, but they both have their own kinds of charm. And as far as a place that I want to go, Monument Valley
Ooh.
in the Mojave. I want to go visit there. I don't know why, but that place always seems like I should go visit there just to see like the best of natural landscape that I can think of in terms of like a desert or that kind of ecosystem.
Especially like
because
taking like a helicopter tour through it would be really cool.
yeah, it would be. I like to be there like just like to walk around it and just to see like I know like I don't think you can walk around it because it's considered a Native American heritage site, so you can't get in there without special permissions anymore.
Certain areas,
but that's
yeah. I mean,
yeah, certain areas, yeah. But it's still a place that I'd like want to go visit to see for myself because I've just seen like a lot of photos of it, and it just looks like a really, really cool place to visit. At least like taking that kind of environment.
yeah, that'd be super cool to go see. That's definitely
Mhm.
on my list of things in the U.S. I'd want to see. Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Monument Valley, great answer. I like that.
Yeah.
See, you've already been to Japan, so you can't just say Japan for where you want to go like half the other people do.
Well, like I could say specifically where I want to go to Japan because I haven't been to Hokkaido yet.
Ah, yeah, you got
Hokkaido,
Hokkaido. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I know like a lot of people said they want to go to Japan. It's like no, I've been there, so I can't say it. But if I were to go back to Japan, I would go to places that I have not specifically been to yet, and I'd rather go. And I've been because I stayed east with Tokyo and I went west with Osaka. My choices then are to go south to Okinawa where it's actually really, really like hot. It's like almost tropical environment down
Yeah,
there,
Okinawa's
or
tropical.
go north to Hokkaido with like snow slopes and stuff like that. And like I'd much prefer the mountains, so I'd go to Hokkaido.
Cool. All right. So, if you could be instantly talented at any skill, what would it be?
I honestly don't know. Like in terms of just like something that I feel like I just want to be good at, probably guitar again. Just because I really like it's like one of those things like I really, really liked playing it, but I never really had the time to get good at it, and now I just don't find the time now to do it. But so I was like if I could be instantly good at it, then I could just like be like making new music all the time and just like spending a lot of time doing that kind of thing and just like either putting stuff on the internet or just making stuff for myself and just just jamming out with that kind of thing and just like having a good time with that because I really, really like I really like just like sort of like artistic expression stuff like that, but I know I could never draw, and that's not something that I'm really interested in. And I know like I can write well. I just need to get back to it. But playing an instrument is probably the hardest thing that I can do that I would want to learn.
Especially to
So
like reach the level of being so good that you can like improvise
uh
a song and like
yeah.
make something up just as you're playing it and like
I want to reach a
that'd be
level
cool.
where reach the level where I can wear a Michael Myers mask and a KFC chicken bucket on my head, and nobody will question my guitar skills.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I no, I've seen Buckethead in concert before. Like he's really
Is that a
cool.
Michael Myers mask? I thought it was just a plain white face mask. I don't remember.
It is a plain white face mask, but it looks like a Michael Myers mask. Yeah. But I've
That'd be
seen him in
nice.
concert. He is amazing. He's really, really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Buckethead.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. And like what is it? I think like one of the weirdest things I know he does is like probably like something that's too impressive even for like someone like me who wants to like who want to learn guitar is still just like do nunchuck tricks while playing.
Yeah,
They'll just take a,
for me, Buckethead tends to be more like a spectacle of what can you do with a guitar that's out of
uh-huh.
the ordinary and that's super impressive to do, rather than like genuinely good music, if that makes sense. Like it's
I mean
impressive as all hell, but it's not necessarily the type of stuff I would just sit and listen to.
yeah, I mean he has like I think he's learned and mastered like 6 different instruments, and guitar's the one that he is best known for. But he's also put out like 50 albums.
Yeah.
So like he's just really really good, but he's also yeah like the way that like the way you phrase like he's very much like, more experimental than like something that could be said like for like good instrumentation for like a band or something like that. He's actually like notoriously apparently hard to work with in terms of that too. Like Ozzy couldn't work with him. Like Ozzy thought it was weird.
Yeah, and that's the pot calling the kettle black.
Exactly. Yeah, but still, like he's like his skills can't be denied. He knows what he's doing. It's just like he's just very, very experimental and tries to push the limits of like playing music all the time.
Mm-hmm. Hey, world needs stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, what's the biggest thing that you geek out about?
It depends on who you. It depends on who you ask and like my mood of the day. I know. It's like Monster Hunter is one. JoJo's is another. Like those are the two ones that
JoJo.
those JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay.
Those are the two that I can think of the most that I just like get really really in depth about and that I like talking about the most. Like just because I really like Araki's writing and like how he portrays his stories, even beyond like the whole like musical references and stuff like that. Like he just like does very very good character writing and makes really really good stories. And then Monster Hunter is just I like talking about the monsters. I like talking about my favorite monsters, the types of weapons, the equipment, the world that it, like is inhabited by it. Because like Monster Hunter is like not just like a lot of people like oh it's Monster Hunter. It's like very simple. There's no story. There's nothing there. It's like no, there's like a living breathing world in Monster Hunter, and the entire like point of the game has a very very pro ecological message to some degree where it's like the hunters don't really hunt for sport. It's just because like if a monster is getting too close to a village, it is like a very large and dangerous animal and needs to be taken care of. And for the most part, they just let the they just let the monster population do its own thing. And if something needs to be taken care of, then hunters will go out to fix it. And it's just like that kind of like ecological diversity of the Monster Hunter world to show off that kind of thing and show that the monsters are not exactly evil, they're just large animals that happen to have magical powers, but are still like, you know, no less a part of nature because of that. They have their own place on the food chain in the world.
Well, and it seems like Monster Hunter, instead of it being more of like a plot, it's really more like world building and
Uh-huh.
environmental storytelling and stuff like that.
I mean, sometimes there is just like there's a giant evil dragon and you have to kill it. Like they do that a lot, but that's usually like at the very very end of the game. And for the most part, it's just like go out there and hunt these things because this one's like you know there's a thing that's assaulting the village or like we need to research this kind of thing or whatever, and like this is making our job harder, like that kind of thing. And
That
very very
sounds that sounds like that sounds like propaganda from the hunters to justify what they're doing.
no, like then once in a while you fight. Then once in a while you fight the Fatalis, which is basically just a normal, from our perspective, a normal black dragon, but from their perspective, an unspeakable horror that will destroy everything if you let it, because it hates existence. So it will just burn everything if it can, and and
I mean,
the
it sounds like
Fatalis
you're
is
just describing me. So yeah.
well, the Fatalis is something that is so awful that the guild actively suppresses knowledge of it. Like you are not allowed to learn about this thing because if you spread knowledge that this thing exists, you will send the people into a panic. That's how like awful this thing is.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a dragon that breathes fire, really really hot fire that can melt stone, but still.
Huh. Neat. Yeah.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to check those games out, but it feels like they're also a huge time sink, and I don't know if I had the time to really get into one of them.
The new ones are not. To illustrate a point about this. I taught Millie how to use a bowgun, and the bowguns are one of the hardest weapons to learn how to use.
Well,
And the
if
reason
Millie can learn it, then yeah.
I taught her to use a bowgun because she didn't want to use a melee weapon. And I'm like, okay, fine. So you like doing things like from range attacks or whatever. It's like, okay, so we're gonna get you a light bowgun because you can still like roll around a lot and you can still like move around a lot and run, but you're now shooting things. And so now she's a bowgun main. And so I taught her how to play it that way. And the newer ones are actually very, very much more respectful of your time than the older ones are, because the newer ones are like, usually you have enough materials after a single hunt to make a thing that you want to make. Maybe you need to hunt the thing a second time, and that's it. But you should have like most of what you need after going after a monster just once. In the older games, you needed to hunt the same thing like 3 to 4 times to even make like one piece of armor, and then even more times if you needed like a rare item from that monster. It was awful.
Yeah, it sounds really grindy and not fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, new ones are much better in that regard though. So. Yeah, I would say check out Rise if it's on sale, or they have a free weekend because they always have free weekends for Monster Hunter now.
Huh. Cool. All right. What is your favorite activity that has nothing to do with streaming or video games?
I honestly don't know because that's pretty much what I do now in general for most of my fun.
So not like card games, board games.
Sports. I want to get back. Fuck sports. I will say like I do have a lot of board games, and I did buy a couple more recently because I had a coupon for like $40 from an online store. So I bought like 2 more like smaller card games, and there is a board game group near where I live that I wanted to get back into visiting because I used to go there a while and I used to play and I used to like be like with that group for a little while. And then I just stopped going because I got too busy and I moved too far away. And now I'm back in the area again, so I can go back to the group. I just have not gone there yet.
Yeah, good. And bet you'd have fun.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, I was kind of upset that I actually missed this past week was PAX Unplugged, which is a board game convention. It's board game convention run by PAX, so there's no video games there. It is just board games. And I went there the past few times they had it just to like shop around and see what's available. And I always came back with like a couple $100 worth of games.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
You demo a game, you're like, oh, that was really fun. I want to have that.
And it's like $60, and then you do that like 5 more times.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I've been there before. And I remember when I was there a few times, like just like the Gloomhaven booth. I'm like, this box is so big. I could never get this thing home.
Gloomhaven is awesome, though. I love Gloomhaven so much.
Yeah. Do you play the physical tabletop one, or have you tried the online clients?
I've only done the physical tabletop one.
Okay, yeah. I heard the online client is a pretty good translation. But yeah, most board games I actually play a lot are like deck builders. I don't know why. I don't know why I like deck builders so much. But I own like maybe a dozen. Like deck builders are probably the most like the game that I own the most of, and one of the ones that I play, like one of the ones I collect a lot, and I think one that I like the most is a Tanto Cuore, which is basically just Dominion, but all the cards have anime maids on them.
Oh god.
So it's still a good game. It's still a solid game, but like I said, it's just Dominion with actual theming and like better theming. Because Dominion kind of doesn't have a theme.
Well, Dominion was kind of like the OG deck builder game, you know.
Yeah, there's a bit more. There's a bit like the base game of Tanto Cuore, because they had like 5 of these. The base Tanto Cuore was very, very much like Dominion, and then they added more stuff with like the second game, because each game is a standalone, so you can play them with each other or just as a standalone thing. Second one, they added in like buildings that you can collect that have different abilities. Third one, I think they have like certain like these things called reminisce cards, which are basically like goal basing. So if you fulfill a certain goal, that you can like use them. And then they had like the 4th game was Oktoberfest, where they had a drink deck, and the drinks were with points as well.
Now you're talking.
Yeah,
Oktoberfest. That booze, baby.
Oktoberfest is one of my favorite versions of it. And then they have Winter Romance, where they have like mechanics where you can actually pair out some of your cards to like combined point values to remove them from your deck when you play them. And then they just recently, and then there's like putting out like a haunted mansion themed version that I don't remember the name of, but I did back. And then like another game, again, then like that they're putting out. This is Japan Anime Games, who have done like a bunch of these deck builders. Was it like Kamigami battles, where you basically you pick a god, and you then buy like, and then the main things that you buy as far as building your deck are like servants, and the whole, and that is just very much like a PvP type game. It's like Magic the Gathering, but it's a deck, but with a deck builder as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's like a lot of the deck builders I like, and then I just haven't had really a chance to play a lot of them because none of the people that I play with live near. None of the people that I'm friends with live near me. Millie lives across the country, and like I know she'd be she. Yeah, I mean, like I tell her about these games, and she's like, "I want to play those." I'm like, "The move, that move."
I know it's tough when all your best friends live far away. Yeah, that's right, people in chat. I'm talking about you. Wish you lived closer.
Like, yeah, my the best friends that I had, like besides Ramila, like the other two really good friends. One of them is Indonesian, and the other one is up in Canada in Newfoundland, I think.
Oh no,
So,
not Newfoundland. That's like the Alabama of Canada.
Yeah, she lives like a one time zone ahead of me, and then the other one is in Indonesia, where it's like I can't even talk to her because we're like 12 hours apart.
Yeah, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. So, what's your favorite holiday, and how do you celebrate?
Halloween, probably.
That's the right answer.
Yeah, there's only one right answer. That's Halloween. Like most of the times, like I remember, like I don't have like the friend group to like do like stuff around here with, and I don't necessarily decorate a whole lot just because like that costs money that I don't have. But I usually will like at least like even when I wasn't streaming and stuff like that, like it's like even with streaming and stuff, I celebrate that way. Where it's like I will just decide through most of October to just play horror games, which I normally don't do because I don't like horror, and I actually end up liking the games that I play, or just like looking for things that like look horror themed. Like this past year, Slay the Princess and World of Horror came out, and I love both of those games a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of games that are like not really scary games, but are totally on theme. I mean, like the Don't Starve games, Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, World of Horror is
World of Horror is a weird game.
Kind of not. Like it's Junji Ito art, definitely, which is why I like it so much. But if you've ever played Arkham Horror Second Edition, it is just that game.
I have not played Arkham Horror Second Edition. I have not played Arkham Horror First Edition.
Well, the reason I say it's Second Edition because Arkham Horror Third Edition has like a modular board that you assemble, whereas Second Edition has like a very straightforward like folded board, and that actually changes a lot about how the game is played for the different versions. So 2E is the one that I own, and I played I think maybe once with my friends, but it pretty much plays exactly that, where it's like you go to a place, you do a thing, and then the old god gets mad at you, and you have to keep going to places and doing things and solving different things, just like trying to find out like how to try to stop the old god. And then when you've gotten everything that you need to get in order to get things together and stop it, you go out and fight it, basically. And it's really, really good in that way. And I know like it's meant to replicate like really old like DOS games in terms of that style as well, where it's like you're playing Arkham Horror on like a DOS box, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's
there's also
game. It's a great game. It's very different.
There's also a mod for the game that was that's not a mod, but like well, they have mods as well. Like there's a very strong modding community around it because they've had modding tools in it since its early access. But one of the things I saw recently was just them having the audacity to be completely silly with things, where you can put in your own seed for the game, and the seeds are like I think they're 5 characters long. So you had to start off with the background of hunted by the cult, which basically turns every single enemy encounter that you would have in the game into a cultist enemy encounter. And the special seed you have to run for the game is KIYRU. And it turns every single enemy into Goro Machima.
Okay.
I don't know why. What was that?
I don't know.
Yakuza. Yakuza.
Okay.
Majima is the eye patch guy.
Okay.
So, Yeah, you could
Yeah,
you
I've never
basically
played the Yakuza game, so that's why I didn't get it. But that
yeah,
sounds
neither
fun.
do yeah, neither have I. But like I like all my yeah, words. I have a lot of friends who like Yakuza, so like I know a lot about Kiryu. I know a lot about I know like about Goro Majima. I know a lot about these guys. But yeah, so yeah, was it? Oh, it's Adventure just said you got to play Yakuza 0.
Okay, fine, maybe. Yeah, I mean, they seem to be popular, good games. Just
Yeah, they are. They're very very fun open world games.
yeah,
So,
cool.
but yeah, so so like they decided to make a seed that's just based around the Yakuza franchise, and I don't know why. I don't really care. It just seems really really
Hey, why
funny.
not? That kind of stuff is fun. That's just
Yeah,
why. Why do it? Because it's fun. What more
yeah,
reason do you need, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah. As
Oh,
I just
sorry.
got I recently just like just because it was on sale for like literally $10 or like not even that. It was like 90% off on the Steam. So I like picked up a Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh yeah, they're all
Oh
you can get them all cheap if you just wait for sales. I know that.
yeah, yeah. Yakuza Like a Dragon is the most recent one because they have Infinite Wealth coming out next year. So
Hmm. So, of all the things that a person could possibly know in the whole universe, what's something that you wish you really understood?
what does Pot of Greed do?
Well, from what I understand, it lets you draw 2 additional cards.
I honestly I don't really know like in terms of that question. Like as far as like I don't know like this seems like a cop out answer from the content creator side of it, but the Twitch algorithm. How does this work?
Yeah, that doesn't seem to
How
be one that people quite have cracked, is it?
the algorithm for any social media site or any platform is just nothing people really understand. It just is like this eldritch bee that the more you know about it, the more insane you become. To
Some
the
people
point
seem
where
to have really figured out the YouTube algorithm,
uh-huh.
but yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, like the Twitch algorithm, like it's so weird on how things are promoted on Twitch or how things get like spike in popularity just based on like what people are doing. Because you could just be doing like your own thing, and then all of a sudden you hit the algorithm just right, and everybody's watching you now, which is just how did this work and why did this work?
damn
And
it,
yeah, you
Bentai! I just received a gift copy of Yakuza 0 from Bentai. Thank you, Bentai. Yes. I can't.
well,
Nobody can stop the generosity of that goddamn bull. He's the best. He's the best.
yeah,
Now I have to. Yeah, I
yeah,
do
I
have to
know.
play it.
Yeah, I know. Was it Millie would say the same about me? She's actually told me, like, I swear to God, do not fucking buy me a Christmas gift. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna, you
Buy
know,
me
I'm
one
gonna.
instead. But instead of buying one for her, buy one for me. I'll up that my throne.
Yeah, I don't know. I had to figure out something to buy for her because like I spent way too much money on her birthday. I bought her like a $50 plush and like $30 of chocolates. So, um, but yeah, like I just want to understand. I would want to understand like how like the algorithms for these media platforms work, so that like I
You
don't
can
know, like
take
I need like
advantage of them.
pretty much I want to take better advantage of it, but I also want to know like specifically in terms of like I know like with the YouTube stuff, and I know like how like I want to know like what works and how to make it work for me. That's like the biggest thing about it, because like a lot of people like they understand to some degree what works, but then they just do what works instead of trying to make it work for them. So we just have a bunch of like copycats in terms of seeing like the same kind of content from like a bunch of different people, and it like it always works. So why would you do anything different? But I'd be like, it's like something like I want to do something that like that makes me uniquely me and still being able to hit the algorithm in just the right way. And that's why I want to understand it, just to like to make myself stand out in a way that actually catches.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
how much of it is algorithm and how much of it is based off of user data? Because I know like the algorithm works heavily based off of like user actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want, you know, things that people like and subscribe and watch all of and do stuff like that tend to get you boosted by the algorithm. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, how do you get people to do that?
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of
Wait, do
like
I actually have to make good content? Fuck. But the thing is, that you
Or
don't actually have to make good content because there's so many of these content farms that put out absolute garbage and get tens of millions of views. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
like one of my I don't want to harp on this too much because if we do this we'd be here all night. Is one of the people that I follow with absolute vitriol is Darkside Phil, and I still have no idea to this day how he actually manages to not be kicked off the platform, because he is actually like harmful, dangerous, takes advantage of people, and has broken TOS like countless times. Yet he's still been active for about 15 years, and I don't know how he manages it. Like, I just think that YouTube doesn't care about him. They don't care about it enough to ban him yet. But Twitch,
if somebody brings in enough money, they can get away with a lot.
he doesn't bring in enough money though. He brings in next to nothing because he doesn't actually ask for super chats or like subscript or like memberships. He did get departnered from Twitch though. He got his partnership removed from Twitch, and then he just went to YouTube. Which it's still baffling how that happened. That Twitch actually started paying attention to him. I'm gonna guess the person protecting him was no longer there to protect him anymore. So I imagine the same thing's happening to YouTube. But still, like, I don't want to talk about him because I'd be here all night yelling, yelling incoherently about this man.
I'm glad I've never heard of him.
Yeah, be glad. It is a rabbit hole. This man is a rabbit hole. Do not fall down it. I brought Lilith down it, and they have not been the same since. But that was a Halloween special too. That was like, I am going to expose Lilith to the horror that is Darkside Phil, and they have never been the same afterwards.
Oh, poor Lilith. Lilith is fan-shaped.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next question. So what's the worst scuff or technical malfunction you ever had on stream?
It wasn't really. It was a biological technical malfunction. I had gotten I think it was from. It might have been either a Valentine's Day stream or it might have been from a stream slightly after that, where I had been drinking, just because for Valentine's I was like pretending to be like lonely, sad, and just drinking. So I was playing I think Sucker for Love and drank a few shit. Why was that?
For some reason, Discord just popped up on my screen and I don't know why.
All right. Well, so I was playing Sucker for Love, and actually one of the voice actresses for one of the characters showed up in my stream, and that was really fun. They showed up. They were the voice of the Cthulhu girl, which was really, really fun to see. And so then I was drinking throughout the stream, like a lot of vodka, and at some point I was feeling about an hour or two in, I started feeling sick. So I went to go to the bathroom because I had to throw up, and then I just took a nap on my bed for 3 hours while the stream was still running, and then I woke up and realized, oh shit, the stream was still running, and I turned it off.
Oh,
and then went live 3 hours later to finish the game after getting some food.
Ah, there you go. You finished it.
I did finish it, yeah, but that was the worst that happened. It's like I got sick, went to go take care of that, and then took a nap because I was drunk.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever accidentally left. Well, maybe one time I did leave stream on after raiding out. But I'd raided out, so I don't know if I was still live or how it worked.
Yeah, that's different from actually intending to go back to stream and then just not and falling asleep instead.
Yeah.
For several hours, and I wake up, go to see oh, I'm still alive. Whoops. And then I saw one of my friends in the chat is he was it, am I alive or am I still there? And and I realized, sorry, I didn't realize I was still alive. I took a nap for several hours. I think that was the worst of it. And obviously some other things, my mic is cut out when I was live a few times. There was I think in one time a collab I couldn't get the game to show on Discord properly, and my collab partner saw my desktop, which was I think just it was an Azure Lane wallpaper from their website, and they just chastised me for having a bikini girl on my desktop.
I mean, I would chastise you for that, so yeah, come on.
It's Azure Lane, okay? It's fine.
Is it fine?
It is fine.
Come on, hide your horny level. Come on.
It was my desktop. I didn't think they would see my desktop.
Okay, fine. My desktop is a forest. Nice, happy, peaceful.
And apparently you fell asleep in VR chat once, according to Sayo.
Yeah, I mean, I fell asleep in VR chat, but I wasn't streaming at the time. I just fell asleep. Just, some of those worlds
Yeah.
are very relaxing. Some of those worlds are
Yeah.
like, there's even like Sleep World, where we'll have
Hmm.
relaxing sounds and rain to help you sleep. VR chat's
Hmm.
got a lot of sleepy worlds. It's nice.
VR has a strange and silly
Yeah,
place.
just soaking in the audio orbs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, you're going to be stuck on an island for the rest of your life. You can't get off no matter what. You have everything you need to survive, because that's not what this is about. You can bring one movie, one music album, and one book. What do you bring to entertain yourself?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, good movie.
Good book too, but I'm not going to bring the book. I actually have read Jurassic Park as a book. It's really, really good.
Yeah,
I think it's better than the movie, but like it's a bit more like heavy-handed with this message than the movie is. The movie's obviously more popcorn stuff, but still, both are amazing. Crichton was my favorite author. Rest in peace, Michael Crichton. He died like, I don't know, like 15 years ago, something like that. It was a long, long time ago, but he's like, I read a lot of his stuff. Album. That's a tough question, actually. I'll get back to that one. With the book, the book is House of Leaves.
okay.
Yeah. Album. It probably wouldn't be like a full album. Would it be the EP "Shut Up and Get Happy" by Demon Dice?
Back to Demon Dice again. We've come full circle.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. House of Leaves, though, that's one of my favorite books of all time. I lost my copy of it after I'd finished it, and then I bought another copy of it just to have it, even though like I might not read it again. Just because like that entire book is just very, very unsettling in terms of like its presentation and like how it just unnerves you as you read. Because like it's a 700-page book, but like after like page 100, here's the thing: after page 100, it gets really, really weird because then the words start appearing like they start being written in like different patterns. They start appearing like on different spirals. And there's like one section of the book where it's like
Yeah,
there's
actually,
only
I've heard of this book now.
Yeah,
You're
there's like
talking about it.
there's like one section. It's also there's a lot in common with it between like House of Leaves and like Naked Lunch is another one that has a lot in common with, and there's like one other one that has a lot in common with House of Leaves. But like when like one section of the book is like basically the one of the characters believes they're being chased by something, so there's only like maybe 5 words per page to give you that feeling of like you're rushing through like the story, like to get the like so let you experience like the same thing that the character's experiencing. And then there's like an entire story in the footnotes as well too.
Yeah, I'm looking at like screenshots of pictures from it and stuff. It's like, okay, this is a book that would not work as an audiobook.
It can't. It legitimately cannot. The book works more like almost like if you're it works as if you're like reading a movie kind of, which is kind of funny because like the premise of House of Leaves is multi-layered because the protagonist of House of Leaves is a guy named Johnny Truant who had been cleaning up after this
Johnny
guy
Truant
named,
sounds like he needs to get to school more often.
he's a tattoo artist. So he was taking care of this guy named Zampano who recently died, and so he collected all of Zampano's notes on this documentary that he was writing. Bear in mind, Zampano is blind. He is a blind filmmaker who was working on a documentary about a photographer and his family who moved into this very strange house where there was a door in the house that leads to this like strange negative space that makes the house's dimensions larger on the inside than it is on the outside, and it's called the Navidson records. So you have the notes from you have the documentary script that you're reading through most of, and then you have Johnny's notes as he's reading this script and compiling everything, and Johnny is going more and more insane as the book goes on. And then like at the very end there's an appendix to the book where it's just letters from Johnny's mother, who's in a psych ward, like trying to reach her son. It's just a very, very strange book and worth a read. It's like definitely one of my favorite, definitely one of the best books I've ever read, just based on like how it's presented alone. It's like that. It's really, really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is some advice you would give yourself before the first time you ever streamed?
Don't give a fuck. Literally, just stop giving a fuck about anything. Just do whatever you want to do and have fun. Because I think when I first started streaming, I was actually very, very overly concerned with like, I need to do everything properly. I need to have like, a set start time, a set end time. I need to do everything in accordance to like this sort of unwritten script of like how to properly stream. And by this point, it's like, I don't care anymore. I have more fun doing this and not caring than I did at the beginning, where I was like just trying to do everything like quote unquote by the book. Even though I still have, like, I still put like value, like I still put like stock into my own production values. That's sort of just like a me thing where like I want to have this thing just for myself, but it isn't something that I feel like I need to have in order to be considered a quote unquote proper content creator. It's just like I just like doing whatever I want now. But when I started, I was not like that at all. Like even like my first streams were always like a bit like hesitant, but like even when I first started, like a lot of people, like I actually had somebody that come in and said, like, "How long have you been doing this?" Because it seems like you've been doing this for years. Like I've literally started this month. It was really, really strange to hear that, but also kind of like flattering that like apparently I have a natural talent. But it was more of like I just felt like a bit more restricted when I first started doing things, just to like before I just stopped caring about like what exactly I want to do, because adhering to a schedule and doing things like that. And I know like some people like work better with the schedule, and I'm not knocking that, but for me it didn't work. So I like dropped scheduling things, and so I have like a very, very rough outline of when I decide to go live and what I decide to play, and I usually don't like make it out in advance. It's just something that I want. What do I want to do today, as opposed to what do I plan on doing this week?
Yeah, I mean, you got, if you want to be like a top streamer, you have to do schedule stuff. But like realistically, the vast overwhelming majority of us will never reach that level. And so it's far better for our mental health and our own enjoyment to not give a fuck and just do it for fun. And yeah, just do it.
Yeah, like yeah, like even like people who some people just work better with that schedule structure in general. Even if they aren't big, they're like, okay, I'm doing this thing on this day, this thing on this day, like all that other stuff. And like I said, that works for them. It doesn't work for me, just because like I work better without like putting myself to that, where like before I would force myself to like play through things or whatever just to get them through, because I started them, I got to finish them, and now like I have like a bunch of things that are unfinished. I'll get around to them when I feel like it, basically, as opposed to sticking to anything in particular. And there are some times where it's like I don't feel like playing anything today, but let's go laugh at the foibles of Darkside Phil instead, and I'll just like put on a restream of something that he's done for like 2 hours and yell. And that's the content for the day. And I know like a lot of people find like, well, that's really weird. Like there's an entire ecosystem of people that do what I do, and they do it better too. There are podcasts that do it. And it's just like in that case, like I like doing that thing too, like because that's just like that's like the piece of something that I like doing the most. Where it's like I like analyzing it as like a case study of like what the do's and don'ts of what to do as a content creator, because he does a lot wrong. And it's just kind of fun to talk about that kind of thing for me. I don't know why. Like I just like, even though like I'm nowhere near successful enough to actually talk like that, I'm just like I know more about how not to do things, and I like talking about like what he's doing wrong and what I don't like seeing in other streamers as well, because a lot of people, like especially newer streamers, make a lot of mistakes. And it's just like, if you want to like do this kind of thing and be taken seriously and not be labeled as a joke, there are certain things that you sort of like need to realize that you probably shouldn't be doing, just because like an audience will probably not like it. And you can probably find an audience that would, but if you want a wider appeal, like basic do's and don'ts, good idea, bad idea kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we now get to the final and most important question of the presentation. What's your favorite bird?
I honestly don't know. Like the only thing I can really say that comes close, and it probably is, it's the schmaltziest answer imaginable, is the Cardinal, because of the baseball team. Because my dad, when he was alive, he loved the St. Louis Cardinals, and he always like root for them. And the year that he died, the Cardinals won the World Series. So, like that's the bird that had the strongest affiliation with, just because of my dad liking the baseball team. So that's like the best answer that I can get for that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Cardinals are kind of basic, but you know, it's fine. That's fine.
Hmm.
I mean, there's the other pro team called the Cardinals, and they're in Arizona now, despite the
Uh-huh.
fact that Arizona does not have Cardinals. It's
Yeah.
because they
I don't know.
moved. Like they were originally the Chicago Cardinals, and
Yeah.
Chicago's
Yeah.
got lots of Cardinals. Arizona
Yeah.
ain't got none. Should change the name.
I,
Should have been like the
I don't.
Arizona Roadrunners.
I don't. Yeah. I don't even know what like when my dad was going through his mind about why he liked the Cardinals so much, because he wasn't from St. Louis. He was
I
from
mean,
Philadelphia.
I'm an Eagles fan, and I've never been to Philly, so it's fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess so. Eagles, like I guess the bald eagle's another one of my favorites. But that's like one of those ones where like you better say the Eagles because you live here. If you don't, people are gonna hunt you down. I'm like, what are they gonna do? It's like they can climb they can climb grease light posts. I'm like, oh god, why?
Yeah, they're like, we need to stop people from climbing these light posts. Let's grease them. And Philly people are like, oh yay, a challenge.
Yeah, like oh god. But yeah, my dad had lived around Philadelphia his entire life, so he was never a fan of the Phillies. He always liked the Cardinals, and I don't know why he liked the Cardinals so much. So I'm gonna guess they were his favorite team when he was a kid, even though he probably didn't have like a whole lot of affiliation with the Phillies, but still.
Well, I mean, one thing you gotta say about Philadelphia sports is that they have the best mascots in sports.
Uh, I would say that, well, we have two of them. I don't think the 76ers or the Eagles mascots are that good.
They're good. They're like, I like Swoop. Swoop's a good one. I mean, so like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, 76ers and Eagles, they just have good mascots.
Yeah,
But
like,
you
I'm
average
not gonna,
two good mascots with the two best mascots in all of sports history. The average comes out to the best.
yeah. I was like, Swoop is a very, very good but basic mascot. But then we had the Philly Fanatic and whatever the hell Gritty is.
Whatever the hell Gritty is. I
I don't
think
know.
he's just anarchism in pure Muppet form.
Yeah. Do you see? There was a while. It was a while ago, I think. It was a Gritty hangout with the emotional support alligator.
Dude, we covered that on Sunday Dusk a couple weeks ago.
I wasn't here for
that
that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was part of my news segment. So we talked all about that. It was great. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see that. So yeah, but no, like that was just really, really cool. It's like, I don't know.
All right. Well, we have finished the 13 questions, and now we all know more about Airah than we ever wanted to know. But it was good, and it was fun.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, it's time for us to move on to the most important part of the day. We just got talking about bird stuff, so I think it's time for bird of the day. Let's head over to bird of the day. Quick, get to the right. Quick, get to the right. Oh, you're there. I'm in front of you. I'll get down here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll shrink down a little bit. I'm gonna just get cozy in your tail. Ow, goose! Someone threw a goose at me. Hacho threw a goose at me. Why don't you do that? All right. Well, today's bird of the day. Well, I mean, it's tough for me to enjoy it because, well, it's a waterfowl, and you know how I feel about waterfowl. But kind of an interesting waterfowl, though. Was an Irish suggestion, and I think he named it after a one-night stand he had in Mississippi one time, because today's bird of the day is the Southern Screamer. And look at him. That's a bird. That sure is a bird. What's wrong with their legs? Their ankles have got like they got like fleshy, flobby ankles. And then like from the neck up, they look more like I don't know, like some sort of beautiful crested bird, almost like the Puteki Teki. But then they got that goose body. It's like what's
Their head looks like they woke up with bedhead on his side. They just didn't care.
Yeah. But also, it's so weird because like these are. And, okay, well, let's just go on to the next screen here. These are in seriforms. These are waterfowl, meaning they are in the same order as geese and ducks and swans Um, but they're in a totally different family than those ones are. So I guess like there are some waterfowl, but it's just like because yeah, they don't have like a bill like those ones do, the rounded bill. They got the pointy beak, little pointy beak. But you can see it's like their body structure. It's like look at that, that's goose. That's a goose body structure. But then like not goose head, not goose legs. Their feet aren't even webbed. What the heck? Their feet aren't even webbed. But I guess that's what happens when you get fowl down in South America. As you can see, that's where they live. So, gonna be kind of that South Central area. Lots of Brazil. I believe we got Peru and Bolivia and Argentina and probably another country there. I apologize if I've left it out, but you know those countries. Nice.
Uruguay and Paraguay. Paraguay is in the center, like
Oh
of
yeah,
their
there's Paraguay
area.
in there. Yeah. I thought Uruguay was further north, but
Uruguay is to the like Bolivia is actually to the north. Uruguay is like I think it's like borders Brazil and Argentina. So
is it? Yeah.
and then
Yeah, I think
and then
you're
Chile is like Chile is that mountain
Yeah,
range
Chile.
to
Chile's
the
the
west.
long, skinny one on the left side. That's these guys. You ain't gonna find these guys in Chile unless it's in a zoo.
Hmm.
Damn, they have birds in South America. Well, you wouldn't think they have birds in South America or Africa because those two continents haven't had wingspan expansions yet. So you know, someday. But another.
Do you want this thing in wingspan though? Look at it.
Kinda. Kinda, yeah. But they're also called the crested screamer, and you can see that because they have very cresty heads, and crests are unusual for waterfowl. They are big birds, 33 to 35 inches long, which is about goose size.
Oh, you got a puppet in your chat.
Yep. Oh, hi Puff. Hey, well, I love Puff. Thanks for calling Puff.
Yeah.
45 to 50-inch wingspan, so pretty big wingspan. And weighing about 9.7 pounds. So, I mean, I say hefty bird. Birds are big. Like I always say, like, are you using pounds instead of ounces to talk about the weight of your bird? It's a big bird. It's a big bird. And pretty long lived too, 15 years, which is good for birds. I mean, yeah, it ain't parrot lifespans, but 15 years is longer than the average. But seems pretty on average for a waterfowl. Yeah, and so that's the basics about them. So, one neat little thing about these birds is that they form mating pairs that often last for life. So, yeah, they find a partner and they stick with them, and they don't always stick, with the same partner for their entire life, but it's pretty common to see that over and over. And apparently, they court each other by like singing songs at each other, making noise at each other, and then like, hey baby, notice you got a couple loose feathers there. Let me help you out with that. And she's like, oh, you have some loose feathers too. Let me help you with that. And they do some preening and make each other look nice. And like, okay, you made me look good. I made you look good. Let's have babies together. Apparently,
That sounds like drunken karaoke night.
Yeah, pretty much. So after they do that, the both parents are going to build a nest in shallow water. And they're going to use like mud and sticks and just make kind of a simple little bowl. And often they'll build their nest in the exact same spot that they did the year before and stuff like that. And, it's like, this is my spot. This is a good spot. Why would I make a new spot? It's a good spot. If it's a good spot, it works. Yeah. And I'm guessing that if they have issues of predation or like failures, then they're probably more likely to move. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know if that's been studied, but I wouldn't be surprised if predators get to your nest that you'd probably build a new one in a different spot next year.
The southern waterfowl housing market is in a good spot right now, so they don't need to move anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. So most of the time, clutches are going to be 3 to 5 eggs, but it has been observed up to 7. So that's a lot of babies. That's still a lot of babies to care for. And then once the eggs are in the nest, both parents are going to take turns incubating. So like, mom goes to eat while dad incubates, and vice versa. And once the babies are born, both parents are going to be hanging around and making sure those babies get their food. Although these babies, unlike so many, as you can see, they're those soft little fuzzy chicks. They're actually able to be self-sufficient in terms of getting their own food within a couple days of being hatched. They're able to just walk out on their own and forage. And so the parents are really there more to guide them safely, protect them, and show them like what to do, but they're not doing the whole "I'm going to eat food and regurgitate it into your mouth" thing that so many little passerine birds do. So that's kind of neat. And look at those little babies, just little yellow fuzzy chicks. That's the thing that's like, oh yeah, this is a waterfowl because they have little tiny cute little fuzzy chicks. Look at them, they're so cute. They're so cute. Little yellow fuzz balls. I like it. I like it. And then they're like 99% vegetarian. They'll get the occasional bug here and there, but for the most part, they prefer to eat seeds and stems and leaves. So that pointy beak of theirs, like you'd think that might be good for like catching little fish and grabbing onto it. It's not. They do not eat fish. They
Yeah, is that why the most waterfowl that have bills are like carnivorous because they have like I guess teeth inside the bill to help catch fish and stuff like that. Like I actually don't know much about like beak structure about why they would have that kind of thing despite being a waterfowl.
Well, like geese, for example, are omnivorous. They do eat small little fishies.
Drink
and stuff
some
like
water.
That. Oh, we need to drink some water. So yeah, like geese will catch small fish, but they'll also do a lot of ground foraging for plant life. I think ducks are very much the same way. I mean, you know, ducks love their grains and stuff like that. But yeah, they like, and the teeth are definitely like, those serrated teeth on a goose's mouth are definitely designed for grabbing on and gripping onto scales of a fish that might be kind of hard, but they really only prefer like little stuff like minnows. You're not going to see a goose catching like a sunfish sized fish or bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's, ducks eating peas. Oh, we do love ducks eating peas. That's those great videos. Speaking of videos, I have one. Because you may be wondering, why are they called the Southern Screamer? Well, about to show you why. And so, yeah, that's what they sound like. Honestly, not that loud. Not as loud as what you would expect from, like, it sounds more like a goose thing, but apparently, I said not that loud. It actually is apparently pretty loud, because apparently their call can be heard from 2 miles away. But I feel like that's not, I don't know. I feel like I've heard some geese honking really loud that were pretty far away, but yeah, they are loud bird. They have that loud, shrill honking sound, which, again, okay, I can see why you're related to geese now, because that was kind of a goose-like sound. Very goose-like. Another thing that's kind of goose-like is that they're actually very social birds. When the babies are being incubated, they kind of stick to their pairs. But once the babies get a little bit older and, you know, through the non-mating season, they live in big flocks. Big flocks with lots and lots and lots of them. Up to 100 birds in a single flock. So many of them hanging around. And yeah, there's many reasons to do that. A lot more eyes to look out for predators. These help each other out with all sorts of stuff. They can keep the baby safe and also, you know, have more eyes for finding good tasty foods. Good tasty foods.
Oh, God.
What?
Mountain Dew found you.
Oh, God, the Mountain Dew did find... How did Mountain Dew found me? I've heard about this thing with the Mountain Dew thing. Yeah, like, nice
It thinks your leaf is the Mountain Dew logo.
What? I didn't have the Mountain Dew logo.
No, it thinks your leaf is that.
What? My leaf is not the Mountain Dew logo. Oh, Bentai, you didn't have to ban Mountain Dew. Oh, wait, Hasio did it. You didn't have to ban Mountain Dew Gaming. Maybe we like Mountain Dew. But you know what? You do what you gotta do, Hasio. You did it. You did it. Sorry, Mountain Dew. I guess you're not gonna be big on brand. Yeah. Or maybe the Southern Screamer is the official bird of Mountain Dew.
It did show conspicuously after we saw the video of the Southern Screamer too.
Yeah, that's funny. I was wondering if the Mountain Dew if the Mountain Dew bot was gonna show up. That's funny. Ow. Anyway, these guys, they as far as birds go, they prefer to spend most of their time on solid ground. They walk around a lot. They forage in grassy areas and stuff like that. That's kind of where they prefer to be. But they are excellent swimmers and flyers. They fly very well. They can fly long distances, although they don't migrate. They can fly long distances, but they typically don't. And flying is usually done to move within the same region to find new sources of food, rather than because it's like a yearly migration type thing. It's like, oh, food's not good here. Let's fly 50 miles that way and see if we can find some better grazing grounds.
We're not going to that Denny's. We're going to the good Denny's, but the good Denny's is 10 miles away. I don't care. We're going to the good Denny's.
Yeah, I go to good Denny's. Yeah. I mean, they're waterfowl, so of course they're good swimmers. They got the whole water slides off me thing on their feathers. That's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are mostly wild, but there are a few cases where people have found that they can domesticate them. Live on a farm, feed it, raise it from a baby chick. They do okay in captivity. They're not as suitable for captivity as some other types of geese, but, I say other types of geese. These guys are not geese, but other types of waterfowl, let me say.
Mm-hmm.
And happy to say that their populations have shown to be totally stable, and their environment is still doing all right, so they are considered a species of least concern on the endangered species list. So they're doing good. Of course, being in South America and relying a lot on the Amazon, that's always at threat, but hasn't affected them too much, and they've been proven to be quite the adaptable species. So
I think the southern Amazon mostly hasn't been touched. That's probably why.
Yeah.
They're mostly in south central of South America, from the looks of that map from earlier.
Yep.
I know. Was Paraguay still has a lot of rainforest still around it too. So
yeah, they're doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my thoughts. Well, I mean, what do I say? It's a waterfowl. It's like the worst. Well, I mean, actually, I don't think waterfowl are actually the worst type of water birds. That goes to like gulls and skuas, and petrels. But
what is an albatross?
What is an albatross?
It's
3 under par.
You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't sure, because I know they mostly are in, I think, Arctic areas, and they hunt in water, but I don't know if they're classified as a waterfowl or some other kind of water bird.
No, they're definitely not waterfowl. They are. Let me see. They are in the order Procellariiformes, and so they're actually they're in an order that has 4 families that are albatrosses, petrels, storm petrels, and shearwaters. I have never covered a shearwater on it, but so yeah, they're most closely related to petrels. So they're kind of their own thing. I mean, they're more closely related to a gull than they are to a duck or a goose.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like you kind of have 4 categories of water birds. It feels no, 5 or 6 even. Goddamn. Because you got your waterfowl, and that's going to be these screamers, but also your ducks, geese, swans, stuff like that. And then it feels like you've got skuas and gulls are another category. Then you got albatrosses and petrels are another category. Then you got herons and cranes are another category. Penguins are a category. And then whatever the fuck puffins are, their category. A bird is putting down another bird. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to do that, Ruby. Sometimes you got to be a little critical. And look, water birds are the worst behaved birds. It's just a well-known fact. But honestly, these guys seem all right. As far as the waterfowl goes, these guys seem all right. I kind of like their look. Kind of like their, oh no, we got a crying Susie emote. We love Susie. We don't want to ever see Susie cry. But yeah, I mean, as far as waterfowl goes, I kind of like these guys. They're kind of neat. Kind of like their loud scream, although it wouldn't make for a good neighbor. And look at that. Look at their chest. It looks fluffy. I want to rub that fluff.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Airah?
I like them too. I still can't get over the fact that it looks like they put a chicken head on top of a goose.
I know, right? It is like they don't have the waddles or the stuff like that, but still, it's like, yeah, they're weird. They're like a hybrid. It's like a chimera bird.
like like a jigsaw puzzle bird that just didn't get put right together. Like, I don't know. Close animal I can think of that's sort of like that as a platypus, where they just put like a duckbill on like a little furry thing.
All right. Hasio is saying like a secretary bird's hairdo. Now, this is a secretary bird at 9 a.m. after a really horrible drug bender and passing out in an alleyway.
This is the secretary bird on Monday. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to call this bird of the day done, and we are going to head back to the studio. Yeah, we don't need the music again. Thanks, Rodney. God. Always playing the music when you're not supposed to. Yeah, I know it's a short one. I don't turn it off like I used to. My old theme was like a minute and a half long. That's too long. This one's like 25 seconds long. That's much better.
Yeah.
Rodney, why don't you get back on the couch over there? There you go. There you go. All right. Well, we got one last segment. Gave you a couple categories of stuff. Let's see what you might want to do. And, wait, that's not even a giant Rodney. That's like a regular size Rodney.
That's just very, very slow.
Yeah, I need to change that because it's like, I'm sorry. You want your berries back? You can give yourself your berries back. You're a mod. All right. Anyway, we gave a few categories like, oh, do you want to do a dog-related thing because you're a dog, or do you want to do retro gaming or something? And well, you picked retro gaming, and so I'm going to test you on a little bit of '90s video games. And let's bring it up now. This is one about a very specific console of the mid-'90s. Today's going to be all about Sega. This is the Genesis quiz.
Okay, I don't know much about this, but at least not like 3DO or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe I should have done Super Nintendo for you. I didn't know if you were a Super Nintendo or a Genesis kid. You had to be in one of the two camps.
I had both because my neighbor had the Genesis and I had the Super Nintendo. So,
well, the way that this game is going to work is that I'm going to show you a screenshot, and then you must tell me what game is that from. So I think you'll do all right. I think you'll do pretty good. I mean, I can give you the freebie. What's the background to this image at the beginning here?
I honestly don't know if it's Sonic 1 or Sonic 2, but I'm probably going to guess with Sonic 1.
Yeah, it's Sonic 1.
Yeah.
And, like, okay, if one of these that I put up is, like, number 2 in the sequel, in the series, or number 1, you know, it's like...
Yeah.
I'll give it to you if you get the franchise correct. I'm not going to be, like...
Yeah.
All right, well... Let's start off with the first one. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to take on the challenge? All right.
Yes.
Let's do this. First one. What is this?
That looks like Castlevania.
Do you know the subtitle of the Castlevania?
Not specifically. I don't know which ones were on the Genesis, but it was not 4. It was, I think, I'm thinking Dracula X, but I don't know. That might not be it.
And it's not Dracula X. I'm gonna give you a half a point for this one. So this is Castlevania Bloodlines.
Oh, Bloodlines. Okay.
Yeah, really, really good game. Like, I think it was interesting that Bloodlines and 4 came out at pretty much the same time, but were two completely different games, but both very good games.
Yeah, I could tell immediately. That was not Simon, but I wasn't sure which person it was. I was really going to say Rondo of Blood. I was really going to guess with Rondo of Blood if I wasn't going to say Dracula X.
Yeah, Rondo of Blood came after this one, and like Dracula X and Rondo of Blood were kind of the precursors then to Symphony of the Night. And well, we all know how Symphony of the Night transformed that. All right. What game is
Golden
this?
Axe. Not Golden Axe. I don't know. Golden Axe looks different. Has a different perspective, I think. That's what I'm reminded of, though. Probably isn't that, though. I don't think so.
It is not
I don't
Golden
know.
Axe.
Yeah, I immediately saw like that like kind of coloring. I thought Golden Axe, but no, it's yes. Golden Axe like top down or like has a bit more like vertical movement to it than this does. I can't tell.
Mm-hmm. So you don't know this one?
I do not. I do not.
This is a game called Altered Beast.
I've heard of this. I heard it's good too.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. Pretty good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, very popular Genesis title.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but not like super popular. But it was kind of like a cult classic. You know, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jindal knows it. Yeah, but everybody
Yeah.
play along and see how well you can do yourself. Obviously,
Yeah.
Don't throw the answers in chat. But
I'm also not reading chat. That's the other thing. So they can do that.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Throw your guesses.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
Streets of Rage.
Very good. See, this is one. Like specifically, this is Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah,
but,
I did not play 2. I played 1, but I can immediately tell this is Streets of Rage. I played the original one. It's really really good.
Those Streets of Rage 2, I think, was the peak of the series.
Mhm.
Like, it just had just like that right blend of gameplay, and it's like it was tough, but it was like not unfairly tough. Like you could get through without getting hit if you played smart. But
I heard 4 is good, just very long.
yeah, these games need to not be super long. But yeah.
It's like this game takes like an hour to beat, and Streets of Rage 4 is like a 12-hour game.
that's a lot for just a beat 'em up game.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of how long River City Girls is. River City Girls is like 6 hours long or something like that. If you kind of know, like 3 to 4 hours long, if you kind of know what you're doing, but it's like it feels a lot shorter than that because it's very snappy.
Yeah. Yeah, Streets of Rage was a great one. I like this game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You better be able to get this one.
Earthworm Jim.
Yes, this is absolutely Earthworm Jim. Yes, I loved Earthworm Jim. This game was so good.
Yeah.
I was never able to beat it without cheating, though. Goddamn, it was hard. Those stupid water tunnels. Ugh. So hard. All right.
This one I have no idea. I got nothing on this one.
Okay. This was rated. This is actually, I was looking at like a list of the top 100 Genesis games, and they actually put this one in the top 10.
What? Okay.
This is a game that I bet once you hear the title, you'll be like, oh, I've heard of that. This is Gunstar Heroes.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard of Gunstar Heroes.
Yeah,
I thought it was an RPG. I didn't think it was this.
Nope, it's not an RPG. And yes, Hasio, there was a sequel on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah. All right.
I don't know what this one is. I was gonna say it kind of looks like Contra, but like just from the art style, but I'm pretty sure it's not, and it definitely isn't Streets. So, I got nothing here.
Well, you said part of the name. I'm gonna give you half a point for this one.
Contra Hardcore, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like just from I was gonna say that just from like the art style of the guys on the screen, but then I looked at the HUD at the top, like that does not look like Contra at all. Like because Contra doesn't have like that kind of HUD.
Yeah, well, the Genesis one did. So,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. God, those Contra games were hard, but they were fun.
Yeah. I think I have I have a SNES Mini, and that came with the Contra 3 Alien Wars on it.
I love that. Contra 3 Alien Wars is my favorite Contra game. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's hard as balls, but it's so good.
Yeah.
All right. This is maybe a little bit more of an obscure one, but I had this game growing up, and it was really good.
I can't get this one at all.
So this is one where like the main character like would get special power-ups. He was kind of almost like a Genesis ripoff of Kirby, and that by killing enemies
that looks
stuff,
like what this is. That looks like what this is. It looks like Sega Kirby.
Basically, he would steal their heads and get special powers based off of the powers of the enemies that he killed and stole their powers from. But it just his head transformed. Hence, he was called Dynamite Heady.
Wow.
But it was a really good game. But yeah. Yeah, the mechanics were... I mean, it wasn't fully a Kirby ripoff, but, I mean, the mechanic of stealing enemies' powers was kind of the Kirby thing that it ripped off. But it's a good game. I like this game. All right. Pretty good graphics.
Shinobi.
That is correct. Well, Revenge of Shinobi, but I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, like that's like the reason I know this one is because I think Revenge of Shinobi was in the Sega 6-pack, which came with came with a few games on it, like Golden Axe, Revenge of Shinobi, Sonic 1. There's a it's not it's like I don't know what the game is. I think it's called just like Jewels or something like that. It's not Bejeweled, but it's like kind of like a puzzle game was in that one as well. Like and then also Streets of Rage in that one is in that collection. You have like just 6 really good original Sega games, and Revenge of Shinobi was one of them.
Yeah.
I was really gonna say Ninja Gaiden, but then I remember Ninja Gaiden is on Nintendo, not Sega.
Yeah.
It's not Tetris.
I'll be surprised if you get this one, but you'll definitely have heard of it.
I was gonna say the Sega ripoff of Fire Emblem, and I know its name, and I'm going to hate myself once you tell me what its name is because I have heard of it. It's like I know it's a game where you can recruit like 100 something characters for it.
Yeah, I mean everything you're saying right now is correct, but you just can't remember the name.
I don't know what the name is. Just give me the name. I can tell you a lot about the game. I just forget what the name is. Shining Force. That's what it is. Yeah. But no, I've heard Shining Force is also really, really good. Just like a very, very, and like I'm also kicking myself because this is a game that a lot of games like have been inspired from. Like Triangle Strategy took a lot from Shining Force. There's been like a lot of games that came out recently or something that like took off of Shining Force and just this has inspired a lot of other good tactical RPGs, and that's like one of my favorite genres to play, and I can't believe I didn't remember its name.
Yeah. Well, I never played it myself, so
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm thinking this is Road Rash.
You are thinking correct.
Yeah.
It is Road Rash.
That was these are another game I played with my friends when we were growing up. This I was like the motorcycle game where you can beat people with chains in a race.
Yeah, Road Rash 2 was the one that I played the most of. One of my best friends had it, and we played that all the time. And yeah, it was so great just punching and kicking each other on the bikes, and it was so much less of a racing game than just a procedural beat 'em up game.
It was F-Zero, but much slower is what it was.
Yeah. All right.
This one I have. Was it?
This
go
is
ahead.
a game that was way ahead of its time in terms of its like presentation and exploration.
It looks really, really good, and I have no idea what it is.
This is a little game called Shadowrun.
Is this based off the tabletop?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, because I know Shadowrun Returns. I'm like, so what was the original Shadowrun? It's like the Genesis? What?
Yeah.
Because Shadowrun Returns is like made like the past 10 years or something like that. It's a much more recent game. And then they had Shadowrun Hong Kong and like a whole bunch of other and like another Shadowrun game. But yeah, like this it definitely looks like it now. I can see it's like the first one was on the Genesis. Yeah. Shadowrun is such a unique universe. This is like what's it like cyberpunk meets high fantasy, basically, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like the dragons horde is their stock options. Is how I remember it.
All right. Do you know this guy? Another one of the many attempts like Dynamite Heady and Bubsy to make a mascot.
No, I don't know. It's not. The only other mascot that I remember was on Sega was like Acro the Acrobat or something like that, and this guy ain't it.
No,
and so I don't know who it is.
Nope, this is a little guy called Ristar. Because he's a star. Get it?
Yeah.
I don't know where the Rick comes from, but
I don't know. It's like that. Is that? I'm not sure if that was a ripoff or not of Starfy, because I remember Starfy was also like a Nintendo franchise.
Well, apparently, it was a pretty fun game, but I never played it. All right, this
Comic
game
Zone.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you got this one. This game was too cool for its time, you know.
comics, like here's the thing. I had a really long discussion in one of my another Discord server about Comic Zone with a few people about like this game is really, really good, but it is so unnecessarily hard. Like the fact that you only get 2 lives, the final boss is timed, and you lose health by hitting objects in the environment.
Yeah, this game was just like it's one of those things where it's kind of a good example of style over substance.
Yeah.
And like it had some good fun gameplay in it, but God, it was just too hard and unforgiving and frustrating.
I remember my friend and I beat it a couple times, and we actually went through several routes in order to get to the end. It's saving grace is that it is short, and once you know what you're doing, it is like fairly easy. It's just overly punishing.
So punishing. But yeah, I guess it's almost kind of like one of those games where you just play it over and over until you just learn what each part is until you can do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a Dragon Slayer type thing.
Mm-hmm. I do remember one of the more cool parts of the game. It took off like a third of your health or whatever if you did it, but you could rip off the background of the panel that you're on and turn it into a paper airplane and throw it at somebody.
Nice.
And it would like be a 1-hit kill on the enemy.
All right, next one. You
Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, if you didn't get this one, I was gonna have to like have Rodney break your fingers or something.
Yeah, like I know enough about Sega to recognize this. I played Echo on the Game Gear, and I sucked at it. I had no idea what I was doing when I played Echo. It's such like a.
There's no tutorial. Nobody knows how to play Echo the Dolphin.
No, here's the thing. There's no tutorial, and they don't tell you where to go. So you can be wandering around the first level for a long time without realizing what you're doing. Yeah. And then they had a sequel called was it Echo the Tides of Time or something like that, which was a bit better, but still not the greatest. It's just a game that's like another like Comic Zone style over substance. Like it is a beautiful game. But God, nobody knows how to play it.
Yeah, it's just like, and that's always one of the worst things that can happen when playing a video game is where do I go? What do I do? That's always the worst part of any video game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yes. This was a cool game. Kind of late in the Genesis lifespan.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember this. I think it had a Saturn sequel, but I don't remember this one in particular at all.
It definitely had a Saturn sequel, yeah.
Uh-huh.
This was a little game called Vector Man.
Yeah, I think Saturn definitely. Like, I remember I remember back in the days of game demos and Toys R Us, they had like a Vector Man demo for the Saturn at like the Saturn booth or whatever, like a little station set up for the Sega Saturn. They had like a Vector Man thing there.
One thing I remember from this video game is that there was a cheat code, and what it let you do was just like move around freely through the map, just like kind of teleport. Like you could just scroll around the map and then drop yourself wherever you wanted. And
that sounds like a debug mode then, actually.
Yeah. The code to do it was call a cab. So CA left ACAB.
I love codes like that, especially with the Genesis, because you could do so much with like the buttons or whatever, like just spelling out words.
And then U, D, L, and R. So you can do some words with that.
Yeah. That's definitely like a developer like trick to get around, though.
Yeah. All right, if you don't get this one,
that is Golden Axe.
Yes, this is Golden Axe. When you said that earlier, I'm like, well, there's one later on he's gonna get.
Yeah.
Yes, this is
like
Golden Axe.
I remember I remember distinctly like the big dudes with like the giant hammers, riding the freaking chicken, and like all the other stuff. Yeah, I'm like, it's just such a good game. It is a really, really solid beat 'em up.
Yeah, but also hard as hell. You know.
Yeah, it is. I never beat it. I never beat it. I would beat Streets of Rage, and I beat Comic Zone. I did not beat this. Somehow.
Drink some water.
Drink some water.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. Thank you, Hasio.
Yeah. I also think that creature's supposed to be a cockatrice, but whenever I play it, I just call it the chicken.
I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be. It's like some kind of bird thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the best songs in Golden Axe that was the bandit in between bonus level thing, like when you would make camp and then bandit would come and try to steal your stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. That was
And
like
then,
that.
yeah, like and you just had to be at the bandit to get like bonus loot
Or like
and
health back or something like
yeah.
that.
And the music for that little bandit beat 'em up thing was really really fun. I love that screen.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I've seen this and I do not remember what it is. I don't remember what it's called.
Well, I've heard it was
Michael
kind
Ja-
of
no,
I heard
Michael
it was
Jackson's
kind of
Moonwalker.
bad, but if you work
Michael
hard,
Jackson's
you can
Moonwalker.
yes, there we go. I said I've heard it was bad, but if you work hard, you can beat it, and then
Yeah.
playing it's quite a thriller.
No, yeah, and I like what am I looking at? And I looked at, oh yeah, that's just Michael Jackson in the white suit. So
Sorry, Hasio, it is not Sonic 3, although the same person did write the music in both games.
I think it wrote like 2 tracks in Sonic 3 and Knuckles with Funky Mode featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Yes. I know that this was originally an arcade game, but they did make a Genesis port of it, and
A lot of old console games were just arcade ports, which explains why they're so hard, but still.
yeah. All right.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Yes, I had to put at least one Sonic game on here, but the one that wasn't completely immediately obvious that it was a Sonic game.
I mean, this is also just Puyo Puyo, but still.
Well, yeah, I mean, Puyo Puyo is the original of this style thing, but when released in the Americas, they made Kirby's Avalanche for the Super Nintendo and Mean Bean Machine for... And the two games literally are identical gameplay-wise, but with just different, like, theming and graphics, So.
Yeah, they had mascot theme for the respective consoles.
Yep.
And reminds me of
I like they did that. But...
Reminds me of, like, I think it was I'm not sure if it was originally Puzzle Fighter, but it became Puzzle Fighter. They had Puzzle Fighter, and I think they had like as Tetris Attack, and Tetris Attack was just Puzzle Fighter, and then they just put Yoshi on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even though Yoshi has nothing to do with Tetris, and it was just its own thing or whatever. But Puzzle Fighter still exists.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at the setup on the left there. I'm like, okay, how would I set up? Where would I put that one for the? I'm really good at Puyo games.
I can't wrap my head around Puyo at all. And then like the stupid fruit game came out, and that's basically just Puyo again.
Suika is not like Puyo. I mean, the way you play and your strategies are totally different.
Yeah, it's more physics based. I understand that, but still, it's just like it just reminds me of like I get like flashbacks, just like dropping things in the wrong place and being screwed because they didn't match.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Tetris where you don't have to worry about matching. Basically, this is what I'm getting at. You have to worry about matching in this and in Suika.
Well, I believe the next one is a game that you talked about earlier, but you did not name it.
Yeah, that one. I can't remember the name of it. It was in the Sega 6-pack though.
It was in the Sega 6-pack.
Yeah, I have seen the screen multiple times, and it is really really good. It's sort of like Tetris, but I can't. It's one of those I can't really remember the name of.
Okay, Hasio. Hasio's just messing with it. Hasio says Rose. It is not called
Rose.
It
kind of is that. It's just like jewels or gems or
no. If you don't have Rose, what do you have?
Lines.
No,
columns.
Columns. Yes. There's a game called Columns.
Yeah, yeah. Like, cause I remember it had gems in it. Like that's the things you had to match, but still. Yeah, Collins was part of the Sega 6-pack.
The original mobile game.
Like this is like it kind of is like Bejeweled or Candy Crush, but like
exactly.
Yeah, I think you had to match like them. Like you had to you still had to match 3, but you had to match 3 with descending blocks.
Yeah, it was a weird setup type thing. I don't remember exactly how rules work, but all right, we got one more to go. You're gonna get this one.
Toe Jam and Earl.
Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. We love Toe Jam and Earl. This game is so much fun. It's like my buddy owned it, and we had so many nights. So we only ever beat it once. But the thing is like you would open presents and like you'd learn what each of the present wrappings is, but then there was one present that would just randomize all your presents again. And it's just like getting that was the worst because it's like I know what everything is now, and now we no longer know what anything is.
Yeah,
It's
isn't the point of this game to like get the pieces of your spaceship to leave wherever you are?
Yeah, so you crash on World 1, and like your ship parts are scattered throughout all the worlds, and there's like I think a dozen pieces, but then there's like 20 worlds. And so on each level you have to like find the elevator to get you up to the higher world. But the thing is you could go like back down to previous worlds. And in fact, on World 1, if you jump through, you would go down to World 0. And if you had certain items on World 0, you could go to like a corner of it. So you needed like rocket skates or wings to get there. But there would be like a bunch of cool extra bonus stuff down there. Like a bunch of tons of presents. And like there's like a jacuzzi that would restore your health. And like some hot chicks in there. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it sounds like it's one of those games that like again was like ahead of its time with what you were doing, and it's just like
yeah. And then
like
you have to get all 20
to...
pieces, or not, or like all 12 pieces. And I think like the final piece is always on level 20. But here's the thing: is you could go up a world without getting a piece on it. So like if there's a piece on level 10, you could like find the elevator to level 11. And not know that you missed the piece. So a lot of times you get to world 20 and you're like, okay, I'm missing some pieces. I have to figure out which world it was on that I missed.
I mean, it might be a good strategy to get to world 20, get that piece, and then work your way back down.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool game. It was fun. It was tough, but not like unforgivingly tough. Yeah. It was good. Well, at the end of the quiz, it looks like tabulating your score. You have gotten 11 out of 20. So I'm afraid it's 55%. That's a failing grade. I'm afraid we are going to have to hold you back. You will not be graduating at the end of this stream. So
no, it's a good trip down memory lane and a bunch of Sega games that I know of. And I should get.
Well, I mean that's a hard quiz. I mean, unless you had like a Genesis and played a ton of those games, I mean that'd be a pretty tough one to score really high on. So I mean, I tell some of you guys like don't feel bad if you got like only a little over half right. My quizzes are hard. They're not.
Yeah.
You didn't study. You did great. You did great. And
yeah.
It's now getting to the end of the stream. We've been going for 2 hours, and it's time to find somebody to raid into.
Oh, yeah, before we go, can I make a little bit of an announcement?
Oh yeah,
real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead, plug whatever you want to plug.
Well, you're going to be a part of this. We're watching the Game Awards later this week.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, it's not going to be on my channel. I'm going to be drinking, and I think you're going to have some fun as well. I think you're going to take some things as well, but it's basically going to be me, you, and our mutual friend Lilith Knox. We are going to be watching what I would title Jeff Keighley's annual shit show and advertising campaign. But we will be watching the Game Awards, just hanging out, talking about the awards, yelling at each other, and watching trailers, just having a good time for a couple hours, however long it goes on for. I'm going to be there for the whole thing, at least, so it should be a good time.
All right. Wow, I'm really looking forward to that, and we'll see y'all next week. Farmyard Crow is our guest next week, so we got another bird next week, another crow. Woo! But yeah, thanks everybody for having in. Thank you so much, Airah, for being such a fantastic guest, and
thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you had fun. So we are going to head out. We're going to say hi to Tariff Misu. She's a cutie. So everybody, have a great night.
Have a good night. Bye.